there's the story of like how the idea occurred to me that it's what I wanted to do. And then there's like of course how I broke into it professionally, but how the idea occurred to me. I was a cheerleader, and I was in a drill team all through middle school and high school, and I was really into uh, drill team and cheering and that sort of thing. And my sophomore year, no, it was my freshman year actually. At the end of my freshman year in high school, um, I shaved my head, like not a little bit shorter than what I have it now. I just kind of, this is the 80s, you know, and I loved Billy Idol. And I was like, I'm going to shave my head. And I cut my hair really, really short. And that did not fly with the drill team. It was kind of like, you can't look different than the rest of the drill team. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I should have thought of that. So I was like swiftly kicked out. And like they kicked me out. It was really crazy. And I was like, all right. And I remember I was standing in the gymnasium watching the drill team practice during like drill team class, because you had a class, was a big thing. And I was standing there like all bitter, just kind of watching them practice because I was no longer in drill team. And way up in the rafters, like in the little attic of the gymnasium, was where the theater class would meet, like
As always.
away from everything else, in exile. And I glanced up, and the theater teacher was standing outside his classroom, and he was kind of just like staring at me. Oh, and I had dyed my hair purple. That's the other thing. So that was another reason. Um, and he was kind of staring at me, and I kind of gave him one of those like trying to be tough, like chin up things. And he started coming down the stairs, and I was like, oh no, what's happening? And he came down the stairs. I watched him cross the gym. He walked all the way up to me, and he goes, do you want to be in a play? And I said, sure. Yeah, why not? And I was cast in the UIL one act play. And I went, and I was hooked. Like I was hooked. We got all the way to like almost state, like two things before state, whatever that is.
Mhm.
And I was hooked, and that was it.
So
I never
so
stopped.
so what hooked you? Talk about like what was the hook? Like some people get hooked into doing hair, some people get hooked
Mhm.
into politics. Like what was the hook?
I think it was the storytelling part of it. I think it was the you know, just that you could get lost in telling a story, that you could get lost in creating this like whole other world, like the whole, I mean, UIL is crazy because you when you go to compete, you're not competing in a theater. Like oftentimes they put up a platform in a gym and just make the rest of the gym dark. And so the the notion that everybody in the room, you know, as terrible as the play was or whatever, we were in high school and you know whatever, but the notion that everybody agrees to be in this room together and listen to this story and tell this story and agree that these events are happening right here right now was like magical to me. I'm the youngest of 9 kids, and I was born like way after the rest of the siblings.
Mhm.
So in a way, I had the best of both worlds. I have a huge family, but also I almost grew up like an only child. And I spent a lot of my time by myself pretending out in the backyard. Like that was my pastime,
Mhm.
was playing in the backyard, creating like fairy worlds and telling stories to myself and talking to like birds and all that stuff. And I'm sure people thought I was crazy, but somehow I think those two things are connected. You know, that the thing that I did as a little kid to kind of entertain myself, which was to make up stories and tell stories, then was it was fully realized and like a thing that other people accepted and saw as a, you know, a thing you can do. And